Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura B. Flosstube. Welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad that you've tuned into my channel. Today is February 13th, 2024. This is Flosstube number 51. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I haven't gotten done and a few things that I have done, and you're going to get a sneak peek on my latest quilt sew along. So stay tuned for all of that, but first up we're going to talk some cross stitch. Okay, so cross stitch progress, there just hasn't been very much, guys. I am taking a graduate class and it is really kind of kicking my butt, to be quite honest. So a lot of my extra time has just been spent doing that or sleeping or just relaxing because I'm just so exhausted by the time I get done with work and school and just life. So, yeah, not much to show here. So here's the first thing is the featherweight stitch. I have made a little progress here, but not too much, just a couple more rows. And I do hope to still get the rest of this filled in, just this little section here. That's all I'm really hoping for, to get that filled in by the end of February. I do think that I'm going to a quilt retreat this weekend, and I do think I'm going to take this and a couple other cross stitch projects along, just in case I don't feel like sewing, and that way I can just sit and stitch. Okay, so next up is the show of no progress. I do have it kitted up. It's the Be Your Own Boss. I have everything in the bag, but I'm telling you, nothing has been done. Nothing. So sad. All right, so I do have one goal in progress, at least. I think that if I wouldn't have at least had one thing to show you, that I would have just been so depressed. But I do have one thing started. It is nowhere near complete, but I have started the houses on Pumpkin Lane. So I have that top border almost done. I think it's like the little sunshines or something. I think there's like a little, like almost like a sunflower looking flower that goes in these two spots. That's what I have left to do on the top border of the first house on Houses on Pumpkin Lane. So this is by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. Super, super cute pattern. Let me see if I can find just the picture of it. Gotta be careful when I'm pulling out there. But here is the first house for which is the pumpkin house, but it's the first house on the design for Houses on Pumpkin Lane. So that's what it will look like eventually. Almost. I did switch up some colors because, well, I didn't have them and I just didn't want to go shopping. So I grabbed the colors I had in my stash. That's all my cross stitch, but I do have some quilting stuff to share with you. I am doing the Lori Holt Mercantile Sampler sew along, which I haven't really talked about much on here at all, just because I couldn't decide if I was going to do it or not. Couldn't decide if I wanted to take that on, but I'm going to. And I actually have the first 4 blocks completed. So here's the birthday cake. I don't know all the names of these blocks. I just remember the first one, so don't judge me on that. Here's the first one and the second one. And then I also have the leaf and the, I don't know what that's called, whatever this one's called. So I am 1 block behind on this, but that's okay. And you might have noticed that I have sewn these together, because that way when I do get block 5 done, I'll be able to have my first row put together already. So that's super fun, super exciting. So that is the Mercantile Sampler by Lori Holt. I am using all of my scraps from like Hometown and Be Vintage, and I did have a Stitch Fat Quarter bundle that I also used to cut all these background squares out with. And I have various different background fabrics, the whites, that I'm using to do my backgrounds for all the blocks. I don't know if I'm going to have enough of that or if I'm going to have to like grab some more as time goes on. But for right now, I'm just pulling from my scraps and pulling from my stash and sewing along as I can. So let's see, what else do I have to show you? Okay. So I also have a couple quilts on the table that I want to show you. I'm going to flip this around so I can hold them up really big, and that way you can see them. All right, so this first quilt, it is not completely done. I still have the buttons to sew on, but I just couldn't stand it any longer. I wanted to show you this quilt. I have the Hometown Quilt by Lori Holt finished, and it's quilted. Let me see if I can gracefully pull these rows up. So there are 12 houses on this quilt, and I love them all. I'll get closer so you can see some of the quilting and the stitching. I just did an all-over design on this because I wanted to kind of just showcase the quilts, showcase the houses, and I just decided that an all-over design would be easier than trying to come up with something special to do on each one of those houses. And then the other thing on this quilt that I think is really cool, sorry you guys, it's such a big quilt. Okay, are all of these little piece blocks that are between the rows of the houses. This was super fun to do. I love it. I can't wait to get my buttons on there so I can finish it up. And then when I have this hanging in my living room, then I will take a picture of the whole thing and make sure I post that on Instagram so you can see the whole quilt together. But right now, this at least gives you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like, and I'm really excited about it. I have this grand idea that I'm going to get this done and hung by the weekend, but I don't think it's going to happen. Just so much going on. All right. Okay, so here's the other one that is almost finished. I just have a few buttons to put on it, and then it will be done. But this is also Lori Holt, and this is the Bee Vintage quilt. So let me hold up this side. These big quilts like this, it's kind of hard to wrangle them around, so forgive me. And then this one I also, I did a little custom quilting on this one, and just kind of played with the design to do a lot of just different things in the quilting on it. So again, that one, I just have some buttons to put on it, and then this one will be ready too. They're laying in here on my craft table because I keep thinking, oh, I'm gonna have some time and I'm going to sew those few buttons on and be done with them, but it just hasn't happened. So if you've been following my channel, you'll know that I just started another quilt along, which is like my own design, my own thing. And I'm using a projector to project an image up on my design wall, and I'm tracing it, and it's going to be so cool. It's going to be this huge Christmas tree that I'm going to sew buttons onto, which is, I'm saying that out loud. I'm like, oh great, I have 2 quilts in the pile already that need buttons, so now let's add another one. Yeah, so, I'm going to sew the buttons onto it and then hang ornaments on the tree on the wall at Christmas time. Rather than putting up a traditional Christmas tree, I'm going to have this Christmas tree quilt that we're going to hang our special ornaments on and put our Christmas presents on the floor underneath. So I'm going to swing this over here so you can see like what's going to be happening in video 3. Video 2 is posting February 15th. So you're going to get to see this like over a week early because video 3 posts like on the 22nd of February 2024. All right. So check this out. I don't know how well you can see this in the video, but I promise you there are like lines and things here. In fact, I'll move you a little closer. Oh, that's totally cool. You can see it then. So you can't see all of it, but you can see part of it. So yeah, this is kind of the work in progress here. And I just left this up here. And then, yeah, I'm so excited about this project. I hope you check out that video series. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be definitely something different than I've seen anywhere else. Okay, you guys, so that's like it. That's all I have this week. I just haven't had much time for crafting. I am so happy that I have 4 of the Mercantile blocks done because to be quite honest, I don't even know how I did that. But this weekend, I'm very excited. I'm going to Lake Ozarks to a quilting retreat with the local guild that I'm a member of, and it should be a lot of fun. It should be a great time just to get away, have some downtime, hopefully not think about work and school all weekend, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, so as far as life update, there's just work and school. That's pretty much my life these days, work and school. Um, yeah, I mean, my husband and I, we've been to a couple of really cool events. We went to a concert a couple weekends ago, which was really neat. It was like a Led Zeppelin cover band, or tribute band rather, and they did a really good job. It was fun. We also went to a Civil War lecture this last weekend in Moberly, Missouri. It was interesting. But we also had dinner at the Pear Tree in Macon, Missouri. And if you have not been there, if you're anywhere near Macon, Missouri, and you haven't been to the Pear Tree, I highly recommend you go. And I highly recommend the batter dipped lobster bites. And I also highly recommend the wedding cake, and the onion rings and the salad and the bread and pretty much everything that they had. I recommend. It was so good, and their service was impeccable. It was ridiculous how efficient their service was. So we had a great time. So we did get some fun in too. So that's always good. But yeah, so that's kind of all I have going on. There's not that much to show. I hope you guys are finding a lot more time than I am to go do some crafting. And I hope that you are well and safe wherever you are. If you're in New York, prepare for the snow that you're supposed to be getting. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, but until next time, happy stitching.